Tall 14, the Roy 8. Cycle 1. This is Cycle 1 accomplished. Tall 15, the Roy 9. 1 revisited. The sphere. Every world the Roy inhabits is a sphere more than it is a planet, and there is no place thought of where they do not exist, for the Roy are not a race of beings, but they are the race of ideas that inhabit them and everything else. Categorized. Where something exists without the ability to make a choice, the Roy exists, and where there is such a thing as choice, in you or in any other creature, the Roy are capitalized. Species. As a species, both the Roy and the Roy of choice are of the same realm, quite simply called Roysphere, but due to illusion, usually it is given various names. Evaluation. Because of the existence of the Roy and the Roy of choice, a value structure exists between them, even though they are both of the same kind. Progress. As the Roy of choice have gathered together in particular form or reason, they create a notion, a pattern of like progressive tests, each test more complex than the one that preceded it, with the aim to reach a place called ascension. Ascension. Ascension is the sphere of all inspiration, and from that came the creation of me, momentary existence, and the memorable experience, me. Division. From me, momentary existence, and the memorable experience, me, there was nominated by the Roy of choice from that point on division between formulations. Valuation. The Roy of choice had knowledge of the Roy and themselves, and particularly of there being a difference between them, and the valuation system developed, like there might be the value of one kind of order over that of another kind of order, and the value of one was supreme over the choice of another. Constant. The one fundamental constant was, is, and will be that every order, however long it lasts because of its support by and resistance to any other order it happens to coincide with. Order of the Roy. The order of the Roy, who were without a choice, were the most steadfast, and such orders could be fractured or broken, but the orders applied to cause those fractures and brokenness were usually short in appliance, but the effects were and are longer lasting. Ocean of space. Because no order exists, or existed isolated from that of any other order, the realm of the Roy and the Roy of choice exists in an ocean of fluidic space, in a notion of cranial matters, filling the entire universe at every conceivable level. Example: an ocean and a notion might even be the closest to being one and the same in example to the difference between the Roy and the Roy of choice, but it is an illusion created by an aid towards teaching. Ocean notion. Although an ocean and a notion are quite different, the Roy are like an ocean of cranial fluid and all that is in it, and the Roy of choice are like a notion of thoughts that emanates from it like a mysterious ether. Cosmology. The patterns and laws created by the Roy and the Roy of choice are very similar to cosmological order, like there are schools of thought in the same way that in the ocean there are schools of fish. Universal edict. And in particular, in all of the Roy and the Roy of choice, there is a universal edict out of which the spawning ground and ascension can be found, and it is from this that my story begins.